working. I don't know if this is the correct mic. If I tap this, does that work for everyone? Good afternoon, good evening, happy Sunday. Can everyone hear me? I'm looking at the comments. There's always such a delay between YouTube and the audio that I see and hear. Just trying to get rid of these little wires right there. I'm just waiting for the first comment that says either you can hear me or you can't hear me, because I've plugged in this mic to try and sound slightly better. There's a comment in Russian. I'm so sorry. I do not speak. It looks like Russian. It could be another language. I don't know what it is. Maybe Greek. Can you hear me? Anyone? Somebody say yes or no, please. Okay, thank you, Tom. Tom, thank you so much, Tom Gibbons. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Sunday service. We got Alex, Tom, Carter's Crazes. We got Leon Aikens. How you doing, man? DS. Who else we got in here? Stefan, Jake. How is everybody's weekend going? Rich Relish is speaking Welsh in the chat. He says Shumai, which is Welsh. We got Joshua. Good afternoon. Yes, we can. There is like a full-on minute delay in my video compared to what I'm seeing that you guys are seeing at the same time. Anyway, I hope you've all been having a great weekend. It is, I think it's officially, it's safe to say it's officially summer. I mean, if it's warm in the UK and I've gotten sunburnt in the UK, then I think it's safe to claim it as summer, because the UK is never warm. And so today, I'll wait for a few more people to get in the chat. I set up my what are they called? Automatic links, that like the scheduled posts for my business page on Facebook, or my artist page on Facebook, whatever it's called, and Instagram. I scheduled all of those to go out at like 5 minutes past 5, because I was running super late doing this today. So I'm gonna wait a few more minutes for people to get in here. But Tigger T, how you doing? Baby Rocket, Sam Sugarman, Daniel Geds, and Ophir's in here. I'm going to do an Ask Me Anything. I realized that I haven't done a Sunday service for like a week or two, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I have no idea when the last one was, but I can check. And I figured I'd just chime in, talk about what's been going on, talk about what's going to be happening soon. And if you guys have any questions to fire in whilst I'm yapping away, then please do. So as this is going on, I'm going to try and read some of the questions that are coming in. Alex's Magical Adventures. I love that name. Hi. Hi, dude. That name is too good. If you are, as we're waiting for people, since we have a bunch of people watching, how about you drop some likes on the video to help us boost the video a little bit. Stu Batman, how you doing, mate? It's been a while. Where have you been? The great news is that I go to Glastonbury every year, and this year they have asked me to do street magic. What? That's huge. When am I going to America? Asks Tom Gibbons. That is up in the air. I'm unsure whether, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know whether I keep chopping and changing my mind about whether to go to Magic Live or not. I keep chopping and changing my mind about whether to just go and shoot the Dex trailer or anything. Oh, Alex has just joined my Patreon. Thank you so much, dude. I think there's a ton of stuff in there. So crack your knuckles and get ready to learn loads of magic. Oh, David, yeah, rub it in. You're in Croatia. All right, living the dream. Well, on the plus side, it's still hot in the UK for a change. So, Miko, how you doing, mate? All right, so let me answer some of these questions as they're coming through. There's a bunch of people asking questions now, which is good, because I didn't have a whole lot to talk about. I just wanted to come and hang out with you. I actually genuinely missed you all, which sounds crazy because it is like I'm talking to like virtual comments. But I know a bunch of you in the real world, and a lot of you are friends anyway. So I just genuinely did miss you, and I wanted to chime in, get an update, give you an update, and hear about your lives as best we can. With that being said, let me check. Okay. I think people are starting to tune in now from all the social media links that have been sent out. Andrew Niner, the genius. For what it's worth, I can see a few questions coming in about decks in the chat. Andrew Niner somehow got his hands on an early release version, or one of the early Dexes. I say early, he got his hands on a Dex early. And basically we're rearing him for good ideas, because Andrew Niner is a bit of a genius. And the first thing he showed me and Javier is the best routine with Dex that I've ever seen. Literally, I'm not even blowing smoke. And if anyone else has seen it without alluding to it, if any of you thought that I had any good routines with decks, from the blank A-can to the appearing cards or anything like this, like the invisible deck type stuff, yeah, dude, Andrew's saying, wait, I did? Andrew showed me a routine with decks, which is legit probably the only thing I'll do with it, and possibly like the only trick that I would do. But I don't want to give him too much credit. So, you're a terrible person, Andrew. Because you've taken my release, and you've mine and Javier's idea, creation, our release, and you've trumped us. So, there's that. All right, let me read some of these comments. They always start to pile up, and I need to get through them. Okay, I'm going to just dive straight to the questions. I'm going to do the questions, and then I'll hopefully keep me on track. But thank you for joining the Patreon, Alex. You're going to have a blast in there. When am I going to America? Asked Tom. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on like doing Magic Live, or just going to shoot the Dex trailer, or not going at all. As you guys know, I've been for the last year, even maybe 2, completely fatigued on travel. I did the circumference of the globe 4 times in a year, at least, of traveling, and I'm pretty done with it. But I'm always so tempted. I can't turn down a convention. I do love hanging out with magicians all over the globe. So it could happen. It could happen. All right. Stu Batman says, have you been to film training for the decks yet? No, so we haven't shot the tutorial yet, and this is because we're just deciding what to do with it. And we're also, like with people like Andrew Niner, still adding incredible routines into the mix. I actually wrote down like 12 new ideas the other day for decks, so that's pretty cool. I don't know what's gone on lately, but I've had I normally get 2 messages or emails a day, every single day, about decks, and then this weekend I've had 10, so I don't know what's going on, if there's discussion and stuff. But the one thing I can say, a bit of an exclusive if anyone is interested in decks, is that on Friday, or was it Saturday? Was it? Yes, Friday, we had an official date given to us for the completion. Oh, I can't even say any more than that. And it's really, really soon. Really disgustingly soon. And Carter's watching this from in a pool, which makes me totally jealous, dude. Hello from France. What's going on, Greg G? Alex said, did the weekend away help you recharge my batteries? I have to be honest, right? It totally did. And I don't like holidays. I don't know about any of you, but I'm not the type of person that enjoys holidays. Not that I hate them, but I can be so content just in my little creative dungeon all times of the year. Because I've done so much travel, I feel like a lot of that desire has been taken away, because I've been and achieved it so much, and I'm quite I'm a really chill, happy person. So I'm content whether I'm just sitting in my office creating, whether I just go for a walk down to my local beach or anything. So normally holidays, I feel like a holiday to me is you spend 2, 3, 4, maybe sometimes it's 18 hours of travel to get to your destination, to be just as content as I was when I was at home. But for some reason, this holiday totally recharged the batteries. If you've noticed, there's been 1 or 2 tutorial Tuesdays that just haven't gone up. One of them was for time constraints. The other one was just, I kind of felt like it wasn't good enough. And I know in the past that other times that I've just done it anyway. But yeah, I've just kind of I don't know. I did need to recharge my batteries, and that's not normally me. But anyway, thanks for asking, Alex. I came back and I felt tip top and even more creative than ever before. Hence, writing down all the new decks ideas and some other funny things. Ironically, today, so normally when it comes to my tutorial Tuesdays, I come up with the idea really early in the morning. I film it, edit it, take the filter of the thumbnail, edit the thumbnail, and then set it all to go and be posted automatically at, like, I don't know. It takes me probably 3 to 4 hours all in from start to finish for a tutorial Tuesday. And I was like, oh, and today I was like, I've got an idea for one. I was sitting down, I was watching this YouTube channel, and let me pull up the name. The channel is called, as if I can, Martin Doolard, but his name's like Martjin, like Martin, Doolaard, Martin Doolard. And it's a 3-hour video of him renovating 2 stone cabins in the Italian Alps. And it's like super ASMR, super chill. And I put that on today. It was like beautiful weather. I'd been for a 10K run in the morning. And I started just like zoning out. And the next thing I was like daydreaming about tricks. And I had an idea for Tutorial Tuesday. And normally like that doesn't really enter my head on a Sunday. So I shot off and I started literally working on my Tutorial Tuesday, which is today. So I brainstormed the idea, then I tested some methods and changed the methods again, changed the methods. Then I was like, okay, I got one I'm happy with, filmed it looked pretty cool. Then I filmed the tutorial or the build of the gimmick, what it needs to be. And then I had a phone call, a FaceTime with Javier just to have a little catch up on the weekend and show him what I was thinking of this idea. And like right in the middle of the call, it like twigged how to make the whole idea like way better, so that it looked like, so that I could show the gimmick up close in HD on camera and you wouldn't even see any gimmick. And so I'd already edited the full tutorial at that point and shot it all, which was annoying because I'm never that far ahead of myself. I'm never like, okay, I've got like 2 days spare. And the first time in a long time that I have been, I need to reshoot it because I could put it up as it is, and I could put it up with the method that I've got on there, but I don't think it's good enough. So we'll just rock into that. Oh, what's going on, Alex? What are you doing? Here's some money for Sister K. She will need a break from you now. Yo, a super chat from Alex Bow. Everyone, drop some fire emojis, and a super chat from Jake Keane. What's going on, guys? Drop some rockstar hands for Jake and drop some fire emojis for Alex in the chat. Guys, you guys are absolute legends. Thank you. What'd you do that for? Okay, I'm going to do some emojis. Here's some fire for Alex. And here's some rock for Jake. Guys, thank you so much. That's made my day. Now I have to refresh the little thing. The little counter. The super chat goal. There we go. By the way, after doing Sunday services for like a year and a half almost, only now I realize I can just quickly refresh the thing, I think. So, with that being said, Tutorial Tuesday, I'm going to reshoot it again, but I'm trying something new. So, I want to know what you guys think of the tutorial style. Because I realize that oftentimes, like with gimmick tutorials, the camera will be pointed at my hands, and I'll be crafting a gimmick, and if I'm talking over it, then people in foreign countries who don't speak English don't know what I'm saying. And oftentimes I think I speak more than I need to, and I kind of overcomplicate stuff. So after watching that guy renovating the stone cabins in the Italian Alps, and it's like proper ASMR, really like easy to zone out and watch, I decided to shoot the tutorial really quickly. So instead of me like showing something and you're looking at my hand, but I talk for 10 seconds, it's like way quicker. So the tutorial's way shorter, but it's just the sounds of the cutting and the threading and the the scissors, like that. And every now and then, if it's important, I'll put a little tiny title on screen that just explains what I'm doing. But I watched it back, and it seems so much more concise, and nothing feels lacking in it. So I don't know. I'd like to know what you guys think when you see it, or even before you see it, if you're into that sort of thing. Stu Batman says, I'm doing amazing. Finally got my new tattoo Friday. Dude, I need to see the tattoo. Send it to my inbox, please. Thomas Maloney says, so this is where all the cool kids are hanging out. Where's the index? This is how far at the chat I am. I don't know how much more chat is beneath that, but there's so many chat comments. Mike Magic Man says, yo. Oh, wow, there's so much stuff. Okay, right, okay, hold on. I am so far behind in the comments. Hello, my Welsh mucker, says Magic for Beginners. What's Shamai? On a summer holiday, warming up a sauna. Oh, sounds so good, Miko. Holla, says David Blair. David, man, I hope you're keeping all right. I've missed you, buddy. Is there any update on when we can meet up, says Carter's. I have been messaging your dad about arranging a meetup where I was a few weeks ago. My schedule kind of went like crazy busy, but I will get back to him as my calendar opens up a little bit. And then we can meet up and have a little card session. I have been forming my version of ABC and it's absolutely killing it. Yeah. Do you know what? ABC is one of those tricks that that was from Mike the Magic Man. When I first seen ABC, I was like, oh, I don't know if this is my kind of thing or if this is the type of stuff that I would do. When I initially just seen the deck. And then I seen the performances, I seen the video, I seen the tutorial, seen the actual cards and how well they're made. And I am one of the biggest converted people on ABC. It's just phenomenal. I think it was the best selling trick of the year, wasn't it? And rightfully so. Spidey's a genius. Joshua said, I've just been told it. Oh my God, Andrew is just a genius. Yeah, Andrew's handling of decks. I'm trying not to give anything away, but Andrew's version, or the first trick that Andrew showed me with decks is ridiculous. And actually it's like a whole system. I don't know. Once you know what he's doing, and I'm trying not to show or indicate or telegraph anything, once you see what he does, it opens up like an entirely new world of decks, which is so good. Oh, we got David Jonathan in the chat. The genius, David Jonathan, says, Andrew, tell me it's not the E of T one. From what I know, or what I can interpret there, David, I don't think it's the E of T1. I don't think so. But I also do not know what the E of T1 could be. So I'm now intrigued and I want to see what that is. Mike the Magic Man says, I perform some of your material at times. Thanks, dude. Thank you very much. Miko says, decks competition. Give person a normal deck who finds the cards faster. That would be good. So a shuffle deck. I wonder how fast I can find a card in a shuffle deck. Should we try? I don't know what the best way of doing it would be. This is for Miko. All right, I just dropped a bunch of cards. Oh, I dropped so many cards actually. So it's likely the card that's going to be named. Should I pick them up or should I just risk it? Let me try. Hold on. I'm not good. I'm just getting cards. All right, I've got them. I'm good. Okay. Miko says, I wonder how fast somebody with a regular deck can find a card. Is it faster than decks? Let me see if I can kind of roughly get the order. Okay. Hey Siri, pick a card. Seven of Hearts. Right. Seven of Hearts. Seven of Diamonds. I'm going to go like this. All right. So, Seven of Diamonds was there. The Hearts was about here, wasn't it? Yeah. So, Seven of Hearts. It's not this card. It should be this. I don't know. That was way slower than Dax, wasn't it? Yeah, I give up. All right. next questions. Mike the Magic Man says, I've been developing a card through phone based on my version. That's cool, man. My memory is getting foggy on which card to phone I made. Did I make a card to phone? Is it the one with the gaff deck? Have you been... Alex's Magical Adventures asks, have I been to Magi Fest in Columbus, Ohio? It's one of the only conventions I haven't been to. But I do intend on going. I probably will go at some point once I'm over my my illogical fear of flying and I have the bug back to actually get on planes again. Stu, I'm not wrong in thinking that Dex is the trick where you put your hand in the pocket and pull out any card. Yeah, so Dex is mine and Javier's. I'm making sure I haven't got one on accidentally. I accidentally have one in the background. I had one in the background of part of the Tutorial Tuesday that I filmed earlier, and I had to reshoot that clip. But yeah, it's mine and Javier's single pocket index for all the cards in the deck. One pocket designed for skinny fit jeans and potentially the fastest one in the world. But so many people get angry if you claim that. Apparently, Alex says, "How's yours and Craig's gaff deck coming along?" It's coming along great. It's fully finished. Woo! Which means that, printing is not far off. More to come on that soon. Oh, there's one trick I really want to tell you all about in there. All right. But good question, Alex. Thanks for remembering that. I've been so quiet on that one. Mike the Magic Man asks, I also developed a mirror routine based on your mirror trick. It works perfectly with my Doctor Strange cosplay. That's cool, man. That's super cool. Tom Gibbons asks, any news on the podcast convention or the Black Art magazine? Great question. Somebody's a listener. Hey. Yes, so we are chipping away at articles for the magazine, and we're coming up with me and Jake are coming up back and forth with a name for the magazine. We have a bunch of cool names, and it's kind of like, I don't know if you guys are like this. Sometimes when it comes to a project like that, I can't mentally check into the project until I know what the title is, because that to me then will cast the scene for it. But we have an idea where we're going. We've also reached out to a few people to write guest articles as well. They also have their first deadlines in place. And then in regards to the Magic Podcast convention, I don't have any news on that as of yet. And Craig is in America for the next 10 days or something. But I'm assuming that when he gets back, it'll be all systems go. But we were thinking, I think, wasn't it October we decided on? Something like that. Jay, yo, what's going on, man? I hope you had fun with Craig the other day filming. All right. By the way, in the comments, I'm only now just getting up to all the emojis, all the fire and the rockstar emojis for Jake and for Alex. So I apologize. I am Snake. What's going on, dude? We got Kathy Evans in the building. David says, put the version you filmed up on YouTube and the improved version on the SOS. Oh, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Okay. I'll think about that, David, because it's not a bad idea at all. But there was something I wasn't happy with in the... Okay. All right, I'll do that. Let me think on it. I need to decide. But that's a really good idea, David. Okay. Oh my god, the comments just what's happening is, for you guys that can't see on my back end, is that the comments are in the chat, and then the chat just goes bloop and it skips a bunch. So this is why I'm constantly where did the chat go? But yeah, David, I like that idea. I could put the Tutorial Tuesday up as it is, and then put the improved version up just for Society of Secret Members. That's not a bad shout. Could you hide decks into your sleeve and pull cards from there, or into a hat? Asks Miko. You could probably fit it up a sleeve. You could definitely put it in your hat, but then it's not the type of index, if there is any index like that, for a full deck, where you can then where you could show the hat empty and not see inside. It is the size at least of a deck of cards and a bit more in terms of like width. So I probably wouldn't put it in a hat, but you can like totally put it under the table or in other types of pockets. I know some people, like when they do table work who've got a deck so far, they will just literally put it on their lap and do it. But it's a good question, actually. Carter's Crazy says he has to go now. Peace, Carter. See you soon. Do I have any more decks in the works? Asks Stu Batman. Well, it's very funny you should say that. I don't know. Oh, well, look, you guys are in this stream. If you're watching this stream, then I guess you should all get like the right to know. But so for years, the Moonshines, wherever they are, over there, the Moonshines were my deck, right? I designed them back in whatever year, 2012 or something. Makes me feel disgustingly old. And then they've sold out multiple times, and I've printed one other color of them. And then I created like the Sinners deck, but I'm not a fan of those cards really. But for years, there's been one deck which has been my design deck called the Moonshines, and then and I don't know, like 18 months ago, I just started getting like a nagging feeling in my head that I wanted a new deck to like represent me and the style that I, the aesthetic and the feeling of the Magic that I perform. So I slowly started chipping away on the design and the elements to do with it, the naming of the deck, the feel of the deck. I always feel like that was the most important thing about the Moonshines, that they captured a feeling as opposed to just a slick design or something. So I applied the same thinking to a new deck of cards, and the uncut sheet proofs are on their way to me, which means that, well, if anyone printed a deck before, once the uncut sheets are on their way to you, it's like the final countdown. but more to come on that as they start to turn up and start to get in my hands. But yeah, super pumped on those. Darcy Zhang says, can anyone see this message? I can totally see it. Darcy says, hi Lloyd, I achieved the effect described in the first Black Art podcast. Sent a demo to you through the Black Art email on March 14th. Would you please check it out or even share it here? Oh yes, dude, I actually have seen that email, and me and Jake have been considering ways to share media and content, the full videos. I think we were going to share it on Instagram, and then because it's a short format, Instagram being, we started a Facebook group to share media that we were talking about on the show. So I believe the plan, and Jake could correct me if I'm wrong, is that we would share that performance in the Facebook discussion group. And if anyone hasn't, if any of you listen to the Magic Podcast, by the way, and you want to check out and get amongst the discussion and help grow the group and the community, then please search for the Black Art Podcast discussion group on Facebook, or go to thebblackartco.com, and there's a link to the Facebook discussion group on there, and go and join up. And then Darcy, we can share your video in there, or you can share your video in there, and we can tag the section of the podcast is in. But it's brilliant. It's a brilliant video, and I apologize we haven't shared it earlier. I Am Snake says, Lloyd, I bought your Switch project. It's the most amazing project I have. How was it with Daniel Madison? Dude, Madison's the bomb. What's the best way of describing it? Well, me and Madison share a very similar passion or obsession in Magic. You know, there's many different tricks in Magic. There's like the any card at any number, the tournament restore card, the sandwich plot. Me and Madison are obsessed with switching singular playing cards. Obviously, Madison is a card mechanic, and I'm really interested in creative approaches to classic things that other people may not have thought of. So over the period of time that me and Madison worked together, leading up until the Switch project, we would just sit down and jam things. And one of the switches on there, I think it's Madison's Kill Switch, is literally, we were jamming that on an airplane to LAX, the airport, before going somewhere else. And it just sort of, the whole project was very natural. Me and him would jam a lot on card switches. He's a genius at thinking outside the box. So working with Madison was one of the more natural, creative experiences I've had. Like oftentimes when you collaborate with other people, and I've had this at certain points in my career, when you collaborate with some people, it's forced or you can't get anything really going. But with Madison, it felt like we both just sort of, especially when it came to switching cards, we were just, I don't know if he feels the same, but at least from my point of view, it's a very natural process. And he's so much fun to hang out with. Like Madison is very funny. A lot of people don't know this, but he's like he's hilariously funny. No, I wouldn't say hilarious where you're like rolling on the floor crying like you've listened to a comedian. He's just somebody who's chill to hang out with because he's a proper laugh. So that's what it was like. Okay. It was a recent tutorial too. Okay, the chat just did that skipping thing again. But also, thanks for picking up my Switch project. The craziest thing about the Switch project for me was I walked into Tannen's and in New York, probably the most famous magic shop in the world, and Magic Ballet was in there, and I think Magic Ballet may be responsible for showing some of the. He performs and dems so much. He must be one of the people on Earth today that's responsible for so many people becoming magicians. He has to be. And I walked in, and he you know the folded card effect, the folded card switch that I have mine in there, where you pick it up off the edge of the table or you put it into a glass. He kept that in his wallet, and he was like demming it, and it was the strangest thing because to me, he's like a god of magic. He's somebody that has paid like a service to the community, which I don't think will ever be matched. And yeah, so he was doing that. That's like the first memory that comes to egotistical memory as well. That comes to mind when I think about the Switch project. Rich says we need to catch up about the project soon. Yes, Rich, I have seen your email, and it was a weekend, so I don't reply to emails on the weekend, but I will get back to you and we'll sort it out this week, which will be great. Sent an email of my tattoo, says Stu. Oh, I love it, Stu. Oh, and your wife got one. That's amazing. Super cool. Great tattoos, mate. All right, where am I in the chat? Brendan, I've already emailed you back, and I can see you've emailed me back about the elixirs. Mike the Magic Man says, could we do a Zoom jam? I am incredibly strapped for time when it comes to just being able to take a Zoom jam, but I do intend on doing a Society of Secret Zoom jam in the near future. We haven't done one for a while, so if you're a member of the Society of Secrets, which is my Patreon, just go to patreon.com/LloydB. Then I'm going to be announcing a massive Zoom jam in there, and then you can jump in and we can have a jam session with everyone else. But it's just very difficult for me to take even like 20 minutes aside and just do jams with people. I feel like really rude about saying that, but that's why I have to take time to put like big sessions, like big jam sessions on. Do you need photos for the magazine I'm shooting again? What photos are they, Alex? Lloyd vetoed us calling the magazine Jake is Extra Rad. I did. Jake suggested calling it Jake is Extra Rad, but I realized nobody would read the magazine because instantly they know how lame Jake is, and they wouldn't believe us from the very first words ever written down. Sorry, Jake. I love you. Don't kill me. Lloyd was wondering if you know if there's a trick where angle 0 is as a tattoo, then you can pull that part of your skin and back to the card piece. I've seen, and I'm not gonna name the person because I think I'm 50-50 on if it's that person or it's someone else. So just to prevent this person randomly getting messages about a tattoo they may not have. I have seen somebody get an angle Z tattoo of the torn corner and they use like an intercessor by Gate and Bloom style template to constantly get the same tear, so they can use it over and over. Now, I don't remember if they pull that part of the tattoo or pretend to pull that tattoo off, but I have seen an angle 0 tattoo. Alex says, smash the like button, guys. Yeah, please do. If you're watching and you're enjoying this, please hit the like button. Oh, Brendan, you legend. Brendan's asked, does anyone want this live stream to be timestamped after the stream ends? If anyone doesn't realize or notice, which I think a lot of people do because they always say thank you, Brendan goes through painstakingly chapter marking these live streams. So if you want to just skim it and find where I'm talking about decks, then you can go to that. If you want to find where I'm talking about the Black Art podcast, you can skip forward and talk about that if it's about the new tutorial Tuesdays or new projects. Brendan's a legend, and he spends a long time doing that. So yes, please do if you can, Brendan. Stu says, ooh, the new deck. That's amazing. I'll be there. Thank you so much, man. All right. Ophir says, I need to save money up. Decks plus gaff deck plus new deck is a lot of money. Yeah, that's true, actually. Well, I like to keep my products affordable, so hopefully you can do it if you want it. We need more Society of Secrets merchandise, like cards and things. Yes, actually, that's one of the things I've been playing with over the weekend is putting up... I've never pushed merch. Like, I had like a Society of Secrets hoodie and t-shirt, but, I'd put them on, or, I'm not even wearing one now. Sometimes there'd be a link below, but I really didn't want to push merch on anyone. And then I looked in the analytics for people who had bought the merch, and I was really shocked to see how many people buy it. So... first of all, thank you, because I literally didn't realize that many of you bought the merch, and then I realized that I'm gonna start doing some more, especially for the Society of Secrets as well, because I'm hyped to like rep that myself personally, and I know it's been a question that other people have asked, so I'll get that up and running hopefully this week. And if you do want to get the merch, then I changed the link recently when I changed my site, but if you go to Lloyd.tv and in the top of the screen, there's a merch button, and you can take some of the merch there. And I don't really make any money off it. It's purely through like a website that does like made to order stuff. So it's super affordable, but there's the link if you guys want it. There's an SOS deck in the works, isn't there? Maybe. I can't pronounce your name. It looks like it's like Kakon. And he's asked about 10 times, why are you often missing Tutorial Tuesdays? So we covered this earlier. I talked about this a little bit earlier. I think out of 18 months, which would be 78 Tutorial Tuesdays, I think I've missed 3 in total, or maybe 4 in total. So I'm not often missing them by any stretch of the imagination, but they take up a lot of time, and they are free. I just give them away. So over the last I'd say month and a little bit, I just didn't have a lot of time to do to film one, and then I made one and I wasn't very happy with it, and I didn't want to share it when it came time, so I just held off on it. But I know for me it's the pressure of people expecting me to post one, then sometimes makes me not want to post it. I'm quite I don't know what the word is, but the more pressure I feel to do stuff, I often recede and do the opposite. So I thought it was just cool to take a chill on a week or two, and then come back strong, and hopefully you'll really enjoy the one coming on Tuesday. But yeah, Rich said, that's explained earlier. Anyam Naga says, love from India. I love India. Actually, I've been thinking about India all weekend from when I went there 10, 12 years ago. I was listening, when I traveled India all that time ago, I was listening to the Magnetic Man album. It was a new sort of drum and bassy type album that came out, and that's literally been on rotation all weekend, and that's why I've been thinking about India, because I only played that album for that month I spent backpacking around there. Mike the Magic Man asks, what's your email address, or would Instagram be preferred? Drop me an email at hello@lloyd.tv. Works. Patreon. Didn't expect it was the only chance I had to send was the essay. No worries, dude. Said that was from Rich Relish there. And then Stu says, was thinking I could use some skin-colored makeup to cover it up and force the King of Hearts on someone, then rub the makeup off as a prediction. Yeah. And actually, there's quite a few people that have removed or covered up tattoos with a type of makeup. And there's a specific makeup type of paint. I know nothing about makeup, but it's used specifically to cover up tattoos. And then there's a type of like formula you can buy which removes that makeup easily, kind of like nail varnish remover, but for that type of makeup. And you notice like a lot of celebrities have tattoos, like, you know, Jamie Foxx has a face tattoo. I think like Johnny Depp has a bunch of like arm tattoos, and you'll notice that like I think Tom Hardy has a bunch, and you'll notice that normally when they're in films they don't have any of them, and that's because they use this certain type of makeup that hides tattoos and blends with skin color, and it's like thick. So you can find that fairly decently online, I believe, and then you can use that to make an angle Z, corner, vanish, or appear, or however you want to do it. On a bunch of other things like the tattoos that Stu has with his wife, you can make them vanish or appear. Also, though, there's another thing which you can do, and I've been doing this since like the first day I got this tattoo on my finger from the 52. But you can make a tattoo appear without any makeup, which is to do that. You know, it's like the old thimble move. So obviously I wouldn't let this stick out in the air for too long because they'll notice, but I just put the opposite finger out and show there's nothing there, and then I just switch it to my middle finger, and it looks like a tattoo appears. So you can do things like that. And if you have it on different, I mean, I can't do it with these fingers. If you have it in different parts of your fingers, you can just use like the same principle and go from that. I don't want to get too into it though. Another person, Parmesh Thanvi from India also. He says, love from India. What's up, India? Magic Alan said, Lloyd, what's up? Mix of Tricks, which is Andrew Niner. My good friend Andrew Niner, little genius in the making, says, any new theories that I've been exploring? Ooh, can you specify the question a little bit more in terms of like any new gimmicks or any new approaches to magic? Any new... Where are you going with it? Hello, sir. This is from Anyam, who's in India. He says, I am from Nagaland, northeast India, and I've been doing magic for the past 8 years, and I love your videos. That's so cool. I'd love to come back to India. Actually, I'm itching to come back to India. If someone booked me a flight to India tomorrow, I'd go. If I could wangle it with the family. Tom says, do I use my tattoos for any tricks? Yeah, I actually, I mean, most of my tattoos are magic trick related. But I use the date of birth on my arms for a magic trick, and I found that so I created an app with a friend of mine called Will Jones called Cypher years and years and years ago, and what it is a way to force a number while secretly peeking information. And the way that information would normally be revealed before I had tattoos was that I would reveal it on a piece of paper or on a banknote or as a lottery ticket. And then I went to San Francisco, and me and Daniel Madison went to a tattoo parlor, and we got tattoos, not matching ones. We do have matching ones, but a tattoo there I got. And I went back home to the UK and performed my app Cypher. And when I revealed the number that was on my arm, and it's the same number, or a similar routine, slightly different number that I've been performing for a long time. And for some reason, purely the fact that the number was like inked into my skin as opposed to written down, it got the first person I performed to, they cried. They literally cried, like sobbed, because of this whole like story with it. And for some reason, I found that magic on tattoos or in tattoo form just has this deeper feel to it. This more, I don't know. I can't explain why. It might be interesting to explore why. So anyway, after that, I became obsessed with getting tattoos that were magic related because it would just enhance my performances for free. And so I have a bunch of them. I have this one. I have a funny magic tattoo because the story. I think I've told you guys before, but I'd have someone. Let me see this deck. So I'd have someone pick a card or name a card, and I'd do whatever. So they'd pick this, and I'd say, "Would it be crazy if I had your card tattooed on my arm?" And they'd say, "Yeah," and then I'd be like, "Ta-da! Your card." And people laugh, and this would get crazy reactions, like ah, and I'd say, "No, not really. It says King of Clubs, right? It's an ambergram." And nobody cares about that part. No one. So I was super hyped. I designed it myself. I ran off, got it tattooed, and I was so excited because I'd never seen that done. I'd seen the Your Name gag done by Steve-O on Jackass years ago, and it'd always been in my mind to get, not to get the same thing, but then in my mind of having your name tattooed, but in the context of a magic trick. And then when I was like, oh, I could have it as an ambergram on a tattoo, that's when I was like, this is going to be so good. So I spent ages getting it perfect, tried all the different best variations of cards, ran off to a tattoo parlor, got it tattooed, went straight out that day to a bar that night, forced the King of Clubs. I actually did, the force I did was I had a deck in mnemonic. I handed it to someone. I said, think of a number between 10 and 20, make it a big, difficult one. You can all do that at home right now. The person thought of 17, and King of Clubs is 18. It's always 17 or 18, right? So I said, look, take the deck, count 17 cards to the bottom. So they did. And then I was like, whatever the top card is, look at it, remember it, and lose it into the center of the deck, which they did. So I said, you named any number, you dealt through, you're thinking of any card, you lost in the deck. Would you be surprised or amazed if your card was tattooed on my arm? They were like, yes. And I showed them your card, and they were like, that's so good. And I was like, what was your card then? What was your card? King of Clubs. I was like, check it out. It says King of Clubs. And they're like, cool. But like, you actually went and got your card tattooed on your... I was like, yeah, but it says... like, how could I know what card you were thinking of? And they're like, don't care. And I've done it actually a few... Well, I've stopped really doing it because it doesn't really get... No one cares. Like, I may as well have just got your card tattooed on my arm. That's it. No special feature to it. And about... When was it? Like November time? I got a bunch of UV ink tattoos on me, and all of them grew out. Like my skin rejected all of them. And I had it done professionally. There was the professional UV ink, but for whatever reason, my skin did not take them. So I had a bunch of UV to use with Lux to have literally UV ink tattoos visually appear on my skin, and it worked for like a week, and then they grew out, which was really annoying. Okay, so yeah, Tom, I hope that answered your question about tattoos. Stu Batman says, I'll look into that. Luckily, my wife's studying makeup and prosthetics. Oh, literally, you couldn't ask someone to study a better course. I've recently learned Through and Through by Dan Haas and was thinking of expanding the needle. Please, some suggestions. I have absolutely zero suggestions on Through and Through by Dan Haas. Sorry, it's just never. I know it gets incredible reactions, and I've seen magicians do it to other magicians at conventions. I've seen people do it on TV, kind of like David Blaine and people like that. But this question's been asked like twice in the last week to me, and this is like the third time, or questions regarding this. I'm a magic purist, so I like tricks to have a magic element, or I like what I do to have an effect, like a moment of them not understanding, and it's not magic. You're just pushing a needle through your hand, and I just don't find that fun. Like, growing up, we were a bunch of nutters, me and my friends, and we would do things like that for days. We would just take a bunch of skin and push needles through, or like stupidly burn ourselves with lighters and stuff. So it was never very scary or even like it didn't really seem that wild. So that sort of type of magic just never became something I was interested in. So I'm really sorry I have no suggestions for you. But anything you are thinking of doing by pushing needles through your skin and hands, genuinely don't ask random people who are idiots like me. Go to an actual professional, like a doctor who knows anatomy and can tell you the risks of it. Because a lot of people will tell you they know what they're talking about, but they don't. And it can be dangerous. So, Rich Relish says, found anything interesting in Bannon's new book? Yes, Rich, I'm a third of the way through. Let me go grab the book. Let me see where is this? No, actually, I won't grab the book. It's down there. It's in my book pile. I'm a third of the way through. Already, I'm on the Magic Square chapter, and already it's blowing my mind with some of the stuff in there. But there was one very simple thing, which was the deal shuffle. Like a simple thing in the first third of the book, I think is in effect number 4. And even though it was not Bannon's, he credits it correctly. I'd never heard of it before, and it's so much more fooling than other ways I've used shuffles. I'm being very cryptic, I understand. But what about you? What some of the stuff I should look out for in particular in there, Rich? Because have you finished it yet? Andrew Niner is saying, once we're here, like new approach. So Andrew earlier asked the question, have I got any new theories? And he's asking, do I have any new approaches? I've been thinking about any new approaches to magic. I'm sure I was talking with Jake about this the other day. Jake has some crazy new approaches to magic. Jake has some great stuff, and oftentimes he'll tell me things, and then I can't think of my own stuff because his is so good. But a new approach to magic. That's such a broad question. I'm guessing you're asking because you may have some. I'd love to know what approaches you have. Ophir says, is Cypher that calculator app? Yes, it is. I do Cypher so often. Oh, thank you, dude. And that's on top of Maxim and Cognito. Oh, Magic Alon. You have like the whole trifecta. Anya Naga says, sir, please cover up some peak method of mentalism. All right. If you haven't seen this before, this is a cool one. Mentalism peak. Bring it out the box. No, I'm not. It's not in here. I need to find it. Give me 2 seconds. I'm having a look for you. Yes. Is this one? Okay, cool. All right, so let me get this out. Let me just set this up for you, dude. This is a cool mentalism peak that I taught on my channel. Somewhere someone can link it if they want to. So you'd have someone draw something on a blank card, right? So in this case, you don't look at it, you don't see it, and you have them take that drawing and place it anywhere they like back into the center of the deck. Okay, fair. You can see all around, nothing to be seen, and immediately I know what it is that they've drawn because this box hides a dirty secret, but for everyone else it looks amazingly clean, and this is the secret. So to go through a little bit more clearly, what I did was, if I take this out, I took a deck of cherry cards. I kept the cellophane on. So any deck that's primarily black will work for this. Kept the cellophane on, but I did cut out this portion here. Then I took a privacy screen, which at an angle will turn completely black, and then another angle, and this is for like a mobile phone or a laptop. And then I took a deck of cards and literally just cut like this out of them. All right. And then I put 2 cover cards on top. All All right. So now this goes into the deck. Just like that. Okay. The privacy filter will now go in on top of these. So you can see through it this way, but not this way. Just like that. And now what's cool is because this is a real deck, they can genuinely put this in anywhere. You can even pull the cards out and show that they're full. They place the card in like this. You close the deck. You turn it over. They literally cannot see anything. Look at that. They can't see anything. Can't see anything. And when I turn the box down or whatever I'm going to do, I can just see straight through, and then I can continue going forward with it or whatever I want to. And that's it. And you can play around with the privacy screen. You can put it at a different angle. So it could be here. So you could have it this orientation. I don't know. Anything you want. But the story on this is that Murphy's were doing a cherries playing card event where people were sent decks of cherries to create or teach tricks with them. And you can go and find it. It's called the 7 Secrets event. It's a Murphy's Magic live stream. And it's in 2 parts on YouTube completely for free. And there's 7 of us, some amazing creators and performers as well. And we taught some tricks. So they challenged me to create something with the deck of cherries that hadn't been done before. So this is what I came up with the same day. That took me like 2 hours or something. And what it is, and what I'm taking advantage of, is that when most people use privacy screen, they get it wrong because they use it in contexts that don't camouflage the method well, or in systems that aren't as in systems where people may expect privacy screen to be used, but by building it into a box that takes advantage of its natural state, which is that it's primarily all black. And then by placing it in the clear cellophane, which then completely covers the shine, so you can't tell what's shiny or what's cardboard. For example, this is cardboard, but the privacy screen is shiny. By placing it in here, it then hides that reflection. And then by hollowing out the deck as well, even if they thought you could see through the box somehow, even though they can't see through it, they also lost that signed card or that drawn picture card into the middle of a deck of cards. So there's a lot of methods at play here that cancel out the possibilities of what they think could be the secret. And when all that's done, you're left with a peak box. And I think the cherries, you can get them anywhere. They're really, really, really affordable. And the privacy screen, I think I picked up the privacy screen off of Amazon for like, I want to say like £8, which is about like $11, and then just cut it up. It was really, really cheap. So it's not going to cost, and then obviously I just cut up a deck. So it's not going to cost you more than one deck of cards and like £10 or something. Versus like, peak devices that can cost hundreds of pounds and are still not that fooling. All right, I'm going to catch up on the comments. Sorry for trailing off on a random one there. But Anyam, I hope that answers your question about peaks, or at least giving one peak example. And I like Mike the Magic Man. I can see your email coming through, and I like your tattoo picture that you sent me. It's very, very cool, dude. Very cool. Magic Alan said that's so good. And you check out Javier's channel. Oh yeah, please check out Javier's channel. He's better than me. He's the best creator in the world right now. Next to Andrew Niner, well, they're probably joint. And then David Jonathan's a beast as well. Wait. Oh, hang on. Mike says, I have your name tattooed. Oh, right. Okay, I get it. Oh, no. Stu Batman says, I have your name. Not Mike. Stu Batman says, I have your name tattooed on me, but I can't show you that one. Brilliant. Miko asks, are there any material for like a pocket picking, but in the way that you put a card. I'd imagine there's material on like pickpocketing or put pocketing. The difference between pickpocketing is where you steal, put pocketing is where you place. I'd imagine there might be material out there, but mainly at least with put pocketing, you basically just do it. So I can't imagine there'd be too many tips to do with it, but there's always people that do take it further. I wouldn't know where to go. Maybe the work of like Apollo Robbins. Apollo Robbins is a professional like pickpocketer, and also probably the best living hypnotist and pickpocketer, without a doubt, is James Brown from the UK. The Professional Opportunist is his like sort of stage name. He is just god tier, and also the just next level magic at the same time. So if you're looking, if you are looking for pickpocketing advice, then I would go to James Brown over anyone. No offense to anyone, it's just like that's who I think is the. Stu Batman says, "Yep." Also had Ivy, I think UV ink. They don't last long. You just get them to stick. I had two. I had two. Took about 2 years. Stu Batman asks, "Will you and Kaylee be going to Darren Brown's new live show?" Yeah, probably. I'll probably get tickets. I normally do things last minute, so I will probably pick up some tickets last minute and surprise her when he's close to my neck of the woods. So, could you use decks in a card trick? Palm the card and put it into someone's pocket in the middle of the trick. Yeah. In fact, one of the routines, I'm not sure if it's going to be taught on there, but one of the things that it's so good to do is you get a card in cop or palm. Like Javier gets it into palm, I get it into cop. And you perform it to people who are sitting down. So at this point, to them, you have nothing in your hands. You're chatting away. You say, name a card. You immediately get a card into cop. And then you have the person to your left or right, depending on which hand the card is palmed in, briefly stand up off their seat. Maybe you say, look, I want you to reach forward on the table and imagine placing that card there or whatever. And as they do, and you sort of just casually move to the side, you just drop the card on their seat and it'll just slide. I don't know if you can sort of see the air underneath this, right? But watch how a card just sort of slides. Oh, I don't land on the deck. That worked well. Anyway, it worked better the first time. But it'll just slide under their butt. And then they sit down. So you say, like, I want you to imagine taking that card that you've just named, imagine placing it on the table. Stand out and they lean forward, they place it, you drop the card underneath their butt. And then they come back, and then you can do things like, I'm going to reach forward now and take that card off of you from the table, which you placed there. I'm now going to flick it, and then you can just, make a play. The best thing to do is to leave that card imaginary, like there on the table for a while, and then do something else, like coin related, and then say, I'm going to flick that card under your butt, whatever, later on, just to create some time misdirection. But that's one of the things you can do with it. Yeah, you can, and also you could just palm a card, or palm a card, and if you're doing a routine where it's like a coin on the back of the hand, for example, then at some point you can just palm it and load it into their back pocket. But you do have to be very confident, or at least have good audience management skills to get away with doing that. Better to do it into someone's jacket pocket as opposed to like back jeans pocket. They may think you're trying to be like weird with them, but if it's their coat pocket, then you can just literally put it in. But that's something you'd do like on the fly. No, sorry. When you do like put pocketing like that, normally you do that before a trick begins because there's no heat on you and it's more surprising, and you probably wouldn't use decks with that. You'd probably just find a card like a 9 of hearts, take it out, load it on someone who's unsuspecting, and then later on force another 9 of hearts, say it's going to vanish from the deck, and have it jump to their pocket. That's what I kind of think on it anyway. Okay. We're like an hour into the stream, y'all. I'm going to wrap up soon, but I'll answer the last. If you have any more questions, ask them now. But the ESP Magic Square went straight into my set. Wow, I scanned all the book, but haven't properly read it yet. Just don't want to rush it and miss anything. That's where I'm at. The first time I got Mentalismo, or when I bought Mentalismo and I received it, I immediately went front cover to cover. And I skimmed so much. And then because you know what it's like, you get caught up in ideas, you just forget so much of the book. This time I've actually stopped to take it all in, and that's what you're doing as well. And yeah, I'm enjoying every single routine so far. All right. Brendan, we'll do the live stream timestamp. Oh, my challenge is to get it done only twice as long as the live stream. Oh man, thank you so much. Just sent an email. Also going to send you one more about a separate question. Okay, cool. Thank you, Mike the Magic Man. Anyam says, wow, thank you. You're very welcome. You asked the question. I'm glad I could answer it. Great thinking, says Wino. Thank you, dude. Darcy Zhang. Can you think of any... Oh, just sent you an email. Please look at it if you can, if it's a tattoo. Can you think of anything to do with that tattoo? So Mike the Magic Man has sent me a picture of a purple sort of top hat with a tiger skin feather boa, and then it's got the 4 aces and the word Aerosmith above it. So the first thing that comes to mind is that you could do sort of like a Chad Long shuffleboard effect where they end up shuffling and cutting and dealing to the 4 aces, but before it begins, you could use like digital force bag to force the band Aerosmith on someone, the name of the band Aerosmith, and then you could use something else to have somebody think of a purple top hat. Maybe one person thinks of Aerosmith and the other person thinks of Jamiroquai, and Jamiroquai is famous for having a purple top hat, right? Purpley top hat. So maybe you ask somebody to think about a physical feature or item of clothing that this person is wearing. You could go for Top Cat as well, the cartoon character, because I think he also wears like a purple top hat, right? And it'd be the only main physical item of clothing he's even wearing next to the red coat. I don't know, but you basically have them just think of an artist, think of a distinguishable item of clothing that they may be wearing, and throw out some red herring examples like Elvis's blue suede shoes and things like that. And then when you can reveal it, you say, look, you're thinking of a band. They say, who is it? Aerosmith. Oh, Aerosmith. Okay, Aerosmith. You both shuffle and cut 2 random cards. We'll come back to those in a second. And you're thinking of a random item of clothing. So it was Aerosmith. Let's see the cards. The 4 aces and a purple top hat. The craziest thing is, on my arm, tattooed, is Aerosmith, the 4 aces, and a purple top hat. Finish the show, walk away, smoke bombs behind you, and never look back because you won't be able to top that as a trick. All right. Anyam Naga asks, I really want to get your Patreon, but I'm still unable to use PayPal right now. Finding it difficult to subscribe to the secret service, but I will get it ASAP. Love you, sir. Oh, thank you so much. You might be able to do it through YouTube. I also have the same membership with all the same content in my YouTube membership, so it might be possible for you to go through there and do it. I don't know. Darcy says, I posted a video of a tab through soda can that I came up with, and I'm quite proud of. That sounds wicked. I'll check it out when I can. Ophir says, I have 10 NFC stickers left from making Javier's NFC deck. What can I do with them? Dude, there's so much you could do with those. I actually have a bunch of NFC stickers right here in my tidy desk drawer. Bunch of them. I don't know. Whenever I think about using something like technology based, I try to think about the least technological effect that I could do with it. So I would not try to think of a piece of phone magic. Like in my head, right, I was thinking, I watched a video on NFC tags, and one of the things you can do is that you can have your lights turn on in your house. And to me, that even though, like, the effect could be, for example, right, with that in mind, the effect could be that you have a photograph, right? So not even playing cards. You have photographs of every room in your house, and you go to a bar with someone, or you stand outside it. Someone's facing you. They shuffle up the photographs of all the different rooms in your house, and they take one, right? And you say, look at that photo, and read what's on the back. And it says, the light will be on in this room only, and the back of every other card will say the light will be off. So there's one trick there, which is kind of like, what would be the effect? Like a brainwave type effect, sort of. And the other thing then is that the NFC tag would be tapped off the same photo blindly so that the light would come on the house. Right, that's one effect that you could do. But for me, that's still like kind of technology based because, I don't know, it's using the technological aspect of it. If anything, maybe I'd use it to bring up a peak system or a bunch of... to secretly bring up some covert information that you couldn't memorize, but there's so much of it, you'd need it to be narrowed down in certain ways. But I would try to just go for like the opposite or like the least technological feeling effects that you could, and then go from there. But also it's interesting, like go on YouTube and find the best or most creative uses for NFC tags and then work it into a magic effect and then spend time trying to make that effect cover up any possibility that there could be technology involved. So that could be that you hide your phone into a notepad. So you cut out a square in the notepad, you place your phone or whatever NFC reader you have in it, you close it, seal it shut, and then whenever they drop the thing with the NFC tag on it, it's on top of the book, it feels open, something like that. But everything you can do to remove Chicago Opener, that's the one, Miko. That's the card trick. Anything you can do to remove technology from like the peripheral or even the aesthetic of the trick is going to do it so much more justice later on. Okay. Okay, stick them inside of small coin envelopes. That's cool. That's very, very cool. Yeah, you could stick them underneath if Anyam with soda cans or Dice with soda cans. Stick them on the bottom of soda cans. Stick them on the bottom of cups. But all the cups are red party cups, and you have someone place choose a part. They all have, say there's like 50 of them with 50 different drinks in them, and they place one. They take it, put it in front of them. They take a sip. They put it back. You then come back into the room, apparently not knowing which one they've drunk, but already the NFC has signaled you to tell you that they've drunk from whatever cup. I don't know. That was just off Rich's idea. All right. And it says, what about self-opening soda can by Yif? I got some rough ideas. We'll be uploading that soon. That sounds pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Brendan says, I know it's been a while, but is that a new plant hanging near the corner, or am I just forgetful? It's new as in from when I decorated the room, but I haven't updated any of the plants since then. But it is kind of new. It's new to me as well, if it's new to you. I think there is a very happy and warm card under someone's butt. Stu Batman asks, who's the best up-and-coming magician that we should look out for? So many, but the immediate two names that come to my head are Jake Keane, who I host the Black Art podcast with. So many podcasts going on. The Black Art podcast with. Even though he's like my age or a little bit younger, he hid away in the shadows and didn't get involved in the magic industry, and I honestly believe he does like a lot of like mentalism style based effects, but there's something about his aesthetic and style, and he does have brilliant ideas as well that makes me think he's one of the top up and comers. And the other one so far that I can see is Andrew Niner. Andrew is just, on the Society of Secrets competitions, he's fooled me in every single one. He's absolutely genius. But he also has like a mind for like products too, and some of the stuff that I've seen. So that's somebody who I think you'll be seeing a lot more of, and you will hopefully be seeing him. I think you should be seeing him in the decks instructions. DS asks, do I have any tips for the turnover pass? Do you know what? I don't. If I was any more like arrogant than I probably already am, I would attempt to just try and show you and give you tips that I don't actually have off the top of my head. But I don't do it very well, if I'm being completely straight. I don't do it as well as like Alex Pandrea. He's the first name that comes to my mind when it comes to the turnover pass. He's just a god. So I don't really have any tips. But I do have a tip when it comes to practicing any like sleight or anything that's angle sensitive or anything in general, which is, and this sort of comes from, well, this basically does come from Paul Daniels, but I can just echo how true it is and how valid it is that instead of practicing your sleight of hand in a mirror, practice it on camera, record yourself doing it. And this is just, I'm literally reiterating what Paul says. But basically, if you watch yourself in a mirror, then when the move happens, people will tend to flinch or look or do something. You can't help it. It's human nature. Even the best sleight of hand technicians in the world, and I know a lot of them, even they will admit that happens. So even if you want to be the type of person that says, I don't do that, I don't sometimes flinch or give myself an out, you do. But if you film yourself, you can't, when you watch it back, it helps you learn so much better, and you can't close your eyes at the moment that suits you best because it's pre-recorded. And I believe that my ability in magic, I've recorded myself doing magic almost my entire adult life. Well, my entire adult life. I have hours and mountains of video footage from the age of like 15 years old. I think even 14 I started recording myself performing or practicing magic. And I do believe that that helps me improve because I can try and make things look much more perfect in retrospect, as opposed to just trying to improve it on the fly. So I would say record yourself. Even when, like, a lot of the times now, I will use my laptop webcam because there's a slight delay. And that slight delay can be just enough to get you over the hill. So even sometimes if you do want to see it live and you don't want to have to watch it back, then a slight delay can sometimes do the trick. But I can attempt that. The turnover pass. So a turnover pass is like a 3 of hearts. Oh, what's this? 3 of hearts. Oh, dude, I'm going to butcher this so much. Turnover. That's there. This is, by the way, like the worst angle. I should probably be standing up. So we'll use a 10 of spades. Oh, that was terrible. Let's use an ace of clubs. Keep catching the deck. I'm doing it like a Herman style, by the way. So from the exposed view, like a 6 of diamonds. It's kind of like this. Maybe I'll try standing up for one. Let's see. Turn over the deck. I think I flashed so badly then. By the way, if anyone's just tuned in, I'm not proclaiming to do the turnover pass good in any sense of the word. I'm just trying it for my own amusement. Alex Pandrea is probably the best in the world I've ever seen at it. So, 4 of clubs. Turn over. I mean, the basic tips that I have, like going, riffing right now, is to get a break under the card here, so that when you align everything, it's ready to go to the top. And then, I mean, I cover the deck quite well from the front, or I mean, like quite like block-like. So I'm not holding the deck at this corner; I'm over the top of it. And then behind the scenes, this is what's happening. And I know the tip should be that you keep your finger hidden anyway at all times, but I am lazy and I will just kick it in and out. But one of the tips on any pass is that your index finger lives under the deck, so that when it comes time to turn it over, nothing happens. Because even I do this now, but this finger will tend to like dance around if you don't do that. See? So you can do this, and then if you bring it forward slightly as you do the move, so this comes forward about a third, then it'll give you a lot more cover to do the move. So if you didn't push it forward, they'd see that. But by coming forward like this, and also I'm tilting up, they see that. And I guess if I'm flashing this side, if I just turn to my left slightly, it might be a little bit better. So just turn that around. Do it with a face up card or face down card. Do this way. we? Where are we? Use the 10 of diamonds face up in the die. There. And there's what's like the revolution pass, right? Is that like we go where we're going to change the 10 of diamonds into the 10 of clubs? Is that called the revolution pass? So, well, this eight of hearts is lost. Ace of hearts is in the middle. Turn the deck around. It becomes. All right, I'm just rambling, and I apologise for butchering the turnover pass. All right, last few questions, and I'm going to check out. But I love y'all. 10 NFC stickers. Self-opening cans. I know it's been a while. Plant. What's the best to become a magician? Do you have any tips for the turnover pass? That's that one. Can you share the video here? That'd be great. I can try at some point, not this stream because I'm about to check out, but I will try and share a video on the next stream. Making Waves asks, what are your thoughts on Danny Daughters? I think he's the best card magician alive. Period. He's the best. He's the best there is. I actually, the first time I seen him was really amazing. I was at the session convention like 2017 or 16 or something, maybe like 2015. And I didn't know who he was. And the organizers, Andy and Josh, said there's a surprise special guest performing 2 shows back to back, one for half of the convention years and then the second one for the other half because nobody could fit in the room. And no one knew, he must have been known, but like really he was unknown at the time. So I went in completely blank, didn't know anything, wasn't expecting anything. And in this room is Danny Daughters, a couple of people sitting around him, and a bunch of magicians. And I remember walking out of that room thinking that he had stooged everything. Because people were literally talking to each other going, that's not real. Like we know magic, we know how it works, we know the false counts, we know the moves, we know the shifts. He didn't do any of that. But what he did do was stuff that was so perfect, it was stooged. And then he did a lecture in the same convention. He explained the stuff. And he did it all for real. There was no stooges at all. And it completely revolutionized the way I approach card magic. And I know for a fact that a lot of magicians at that convention and a lot of people that I've seen him since have styled themselves on his style of magic and his style of thinking, which I think is even more important. And I can't say that I haven't been influenced strongly by him either. So what do I think about Danny Daughters? Greatest card magician alive. Maybe, and I know we stand on the shoulders of giants, but I wouldn't be too far remiss to say best card magician ever. I don't mean card handler, as in like manipulating and stuff, but his approach is just from another planet. Absolutely another planet. Brendan says, Lloyd, do you have any tips for springing the cards and letting the spectator put a selection between 2 kings, like what you and Sister K did in a previous live stream? I'd have to refresh my memory, but that's such a good question. Sister K, or Kaylee, is really good at it. And it's about like timing, obviously. There's certain techniques that she uses to like pick the card and not pick the card. And, do you know, I'm just springing the cards, really. So all my job is this. I can essentially close my eyes and the rest is on Sister K. So maybe if you guys want, I will happily ask Sister K to tell us her tips on how to pluck out a card, how to time it right, how to replace a card, how to do a bunch of other things. But every so often we'll do that now and she'll get it right bang on first time. And there definitely is learnable technique to it, but I don't know what it is because I just bring the cards. Anyam says, please say hi to Miss Kaylee, your wife. May God bless both of you. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. When she gets home, I will absolutely say that for you, dude. Thank you so much. That got me going. I have so many options, seeing that I know a ton of asterisks. Amazing. Well, you're very welcome, dude. Thanks. Have you heard of Hologram by David Stone? Is that the trick where the spot goes... And yeah, I remember when I first seen that, I thought it was a hologram. So good. So cool. The video's on my page. Do you practice mostly standing up or sitting down? DS, that's a great question. I will generally practice gimmick magic sitting down and card magic pretty much always standing up. And I have a big mirror in my office that I use to practice card magic in. Carter's crazy says I'm back. Carter, I'm about to head off. I always use the pass. You and your family have a great week. Will there be a Sunday session next week? What's the date next week, everyone? Next week is... What's the date today? Anyone know? I'm looking at it. Is it the 21st of May? 28th of May. There should be one next week because I don't have anything in my diary. So yeah, and I missed you all. But I want to do like a guest one next week. So I want to get somebody in here, on here, like a friend of the channel, someone that we already know, and do a live stream with them. Maybe we can get Javier in here. Or Bo. Oh, actually, Javier or Bo. No, I don't want to put it to a vote. Maybe all three of us, since we all work at Murphy's. Yeah, there's no choosing between those two. They're both sexy beasts. Carter says, have I ever met have I ever met Daniel Madison? Yeah, dude, I used to work with him for years. We traveled all over like America and places together. Canada. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, look, that's the sort of... It seems like I've reached the bottom of the comments. And oh, Stu says Chris James. Yeah, I'll have to get Chris James on here for sure one week. And maybe Andrew Niner too. And a David Jonathan episode would be good. And a Rich Relish. I have so many dream guests that I want on here. Okay, you guys suggest in the comments once the live... Don't suggest in the live chat. Suggest in the comments underneath the video who you want to see. Keep it realistic. Keep it real. And apart from that, it's been an amazing time catching up with you. I always feel weird that I'm just talking about myself, so it can't be that amazing. But we will be doing a massive jam sesh on the Society of Secrets soon, so it'll be great to talk to a lot of you face-to-face who are members there. If you want to join, head to patreon.com/LloydB. But until next week, folks, I will see you all very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your summer Sunday, and I'll have more updates in the future. Peace.